Hello and welcome to what I think will be a very positive and uplifting edition of the Stadium Experience with Jake Helmsley. Jordan Moments here alongside me, and I think it would be really easy, frankly hackneyed, Jordan, for us to call this a funeral, an autopsy of the New England Patriots season. But I think maybe a better word could be a celebration of life, Jordan. So why don't today on the show, the Patriots, after winning a whole 8 NFL games this year, that's almost half. That's almost more than half of the games that they played. The season's over. It's just done. Spluttered out at the end of a 1 p.m. game versus the Bills, because that's what you are now, Patriots fans. You're a team that limps to the finish line and then gets knocked out in a 1 p.m. window when they had a chance. By the way, the Patriots, they sure did have a chance until approximately the ball with the opening kickoff. Which, even then, I'll get this out of the way now, Jordan, before we get into anything else. I'll give them this. I would have given them the first one, Jordan. Full disclosure, I would have just written off the first kickoff return. I would have been like, you know what? Very improbable situation they found themselves in. You know, for the Bills not to come out and do something, memorable and historic would just be to defy the energy of the universe, honestly. By the way, Damar Hamlin is doing very well. Mm-hmm. He's doing much better. He's up and talking. I've kind of stopped tracking the update specifically. The last I saw, I think he's still in the hospital, but he's been up and about.
No. He's been released. He's back in Buffalo.
Well, perfect.
Started physical therapy.
Good. They're giving him his full contract for
regular
the season.
Food.
They're giving him his last game check. Mm-hmm. So, good. But yeah, the first one, truly and genuinely, Jordan, I would have just written it off. I would have just been like, they destined to happen. Like, I could talk about kick coverages all I want and about just how awful their special teams have been all year. But you know what? Fine. Like, they were going to come out and do something. There was no doubt in my mind the Bills were going to come out and do something. And that the Patriots were running into an emotional buzzsaw. And you're not good enough to fight back against that level of human emotion. So fine. I would have given them the one, Jordan. You would have hated it. But I would have just written it off. 2, can't give them 2. The second makes the first seem much worse. The second makes the first worse, I say. Because now I'm like, well, I don't think the Bills came out pumped full of emotion midway through the third quarter. I don't think suddenly in the middle of the third quarter they're like, hey guys, it's been a hell of a week we've had. Let's come out and do something here with 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. That I'm like, okay, nope, your special teams are just not very good, which we'll talk about that. Oh, we'll talk about plenty today. Me and Jordan, we got off-season lists. We talk about the playoffs. We got plenty of things to do. But I know Jordan, he told me in that he has something prepared. Jordan, you have a few words here for the celebration of life?
I do. I think I wanted to start off today's episode of the Stadium Experience by reading a fond remembrance.
Okay, excellent.
Those of you with a untrained ear may describe this as a eulogy.
Oh, okay.
But I want to make this very clear that this is in fact a celebration of life.
Excellent. That's good. We're positive today.
And I'm gonna take this time to read this statement I have prepared earlier today.
Excellent. I wish you let me know this was coming. I would have gotten some music together.
Okay. For much of the year, the New England Patriots has been a team far past any consideration for optimism, stability, excitability, interest, in quality football. Going into the season, I had remarked that the lack of a dedicated offensive coordinator and the elevation of NFL rejects Matt Patricia and Joe Judge in tandem to the role was nothing more than sabotage for both Mac Jones in the season and the season of the Patriots due to the prevalence of elite quarterbacking in the conference and the division. I was correct. The Patriots failed to scheme, plan, and execute an offense resembling 21st century orthodoxy. While the most basic contemporary concepts such as RPOs, West Coast style vertical and lateral passing concepts, zone running, and robust multi-receiver sets appeared inconsistently at best. The decline of Mac Jones is one part due to the coaching staff. However, There's been times where he has failed to do even the most rudimentary functions of an NFL quarterback, from moving defensive back with feints, reading progressions, and utilizing his checkdowns. How are you feeling so far?
Good. I was gonna say at one point in this game, Mac Jones, by the way, was 13 for 15 for about 200 yards and 2 passing touchdowns at one point.
He threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah, it was one point where he was doing pretty good.
Okay. The offensive line has been atrocious. Trent Brown and Isaiah Wynn proving themselves to not be permanent solutions at tackles. Wide receivers and tight ends have been effectively underutilized. Despite my personal opinion of the quality of the personnel, it would be disingenuous to say it was a problem solely attributed to them.
You know what? That's growth for you. That's growth for you.
It was.
That's growth for you.
I was objective.
That's good. It took me a long time to bring you around to that. You're like, maybe this Hunter Henry guy, he had a good game, by the way. Hunter Henry was pretty good in this game. Pretty good the last couple of weeks.
The running game has been potent, and yet poorly utilized as well. The Patriots are one of the worst running teams in the NFL, a bitter contrast compared to the flashes shown by Stevenson and Harris. Overall, this offense would be great if it was installed at Bryan University and maybe some other Division III university. Other than that, it is fleeting competence, defined by unqualified coaching and the mediocre game management.
Is that it?
No.
Okay.
So there is little that needs to be said about the special teams.
Pause in case of riffing. Was that?
Maybe.
All right.
Some tactical breaks. So there's little that needs to be said about the special teams. What was once the cornerstone of Belichick teams has become average at best, sloppy, lackluster, and in the most recent games, catastrophic. This can be remedied in time, no doubt, but as the guru who showed us the importance of special teams, it is highly uncharacteristic.
Well, Jordan, I'll tell you this, actually. They were not average at best. They were, according to Aaron Schatz of Football Outsiders, the Patriots special teams actually finished last in special teams DVOA, Jordan.
Wow.
Last.
So okay.
And I got
advanced metrics. I didn't get into those.
I know, and I don't know how much lower they'd be if they didn't have, I don't know how much kickoff returns factor into that, your own returns, but yeah, Marcus Jones probably got those a little bit higher. Anyway, go on.
Defensively, this is an odd mixture of an aging and unproven core of defensive backs and a front seven who is only relevant due to the tandem of Uche and Judon. Statistically, the Patriots have a top 3 run defense, and although this is good on the surface, it is important to ask if this is because it is so formidable or because the passing defense is deceptively bad. I have nothing but optimism for the rookie Joneses, but it appears the relative talent of other teams, either through personnel or scheming, has proven troublesome by the defense by committee that delegates the defensive talent. Also, just want to mention they don't really have a defensive coordinator either.
They played a lot. They played 78% of their snaps in zone in this game, for the record, which is probably
aside from
smart.
The Bears. Yeah, probably. Aside from the Bears game, there hasn't been many times where the defense has absolutely broken, but it has bent a lot.
That's what you want, baby. Bend, don't break.
Okay, this is the grand conclusion.
Okay, excellent.
Overall, this is a team that needs a cleansing or an exorcism. This is a bad team held together by the fumes of a once great football coach, a lack of talent, depth, or even fun. Quite honestly, maybe only the Titans or the Texans have produced least fun football to watch.
They do not seem to be having fun, don't they? Nobody involved in this operation seems to be having a good time, huh?
Yep. This is a team without stars, without guidance, without future. They are tethered to a corpse, a whisper of yesteryear's greatness, and a quarterback who failed to adequately conduct himself as a person worthy of his paycheck. They are dead in the water. And that is the celebration of life for the New England Patriots.
Excellent. And Bill Belichick is 18 wins away from tying Don Shula. Don't you forget it. Yeah, no, I mean, you're not wrong about most things. Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, I even have written here in my rundown. Yeah, defense was actually fine. Defense only let up 21 points, Jordan, which was about exactly their season average. They let up 20.4 points. And, they had, again, I'll keep saying that, even when they let up some points to the Bills, this was another game, though, where I'm like, you know what, the defense, they only let up 21 points, and they got 2 turnovers, and they forced some punts. And I don't. And you know what, Jordan? I'm going to repeat myself. Late in the fourth quarter, they still had the ball with a chance to go ahead. And they didn't. Because they can't do anything. Mac had some good throws in this game before he started throwing picks like crazy. I was going to go back and watch the picks. I thought about it. I'm like, well, I feel like 1 or 2 of those wasn't his fault. I just don't care. Not worth doing. What does that prove? I was going to do it, and I'm like, oh, I feel like it. I'm like, what difference does it make? If it wasn't him, it was because somebody else knocked the ball up because they got late in a game, and they were trying to win, and nobody could get anything right, and they got frantic, and what was it, two drives in a row ended in picks, their last 2? Yeah, like they got the ball. Even if it wasn't Mac, it was because the guy knocked the ball up. Yeah, of course they did. Because they're not disciplined. Because they don't have anything together. And they have no cohesion. And, they're held together. You're right. They're held together by the fumes of, like, Bill Belichick's, like, half-assing. And, yeah. And that's what this gets you, which is 8 and 9. Almost in the playoffs. Almost. I think Belichick's coming back. He said he wants to come back. He said he's in.
To put it further in perspective, they had the 20th ranked passing offense and the 24th ranked rushing offense.
Oh, Jordan, you want more?
According to Pro Football Reference.
Oh, Jordan, you want more? This is just straight from Mike Reese. You want to hear how far they've fallen offensively, Jordan?
Oh, hit me with it.
Last year, 39 touchdowns and 63 red zone trips. This year, 19 touchdowns, 45 red zone trips. Last year's third down efficiency, 43.5. This year's third down efficiency, 34.8. Last year, they scored 48 touchdowns. This year, they scored 31 touchdowns. Last year, they allowed 28 sacks. This year, they allowed 41. It's just none of it's good. And they did some good things in this game, Jordan. I'll be fair. I don't think the play calling was very bad in this game. So, you get 2 good games. You get 2 okay games at the end of the season, Jordan. What does that add up to? Not a lot. I feel like in week 18 shouldn't be the week where I'm like, well, they're finally maybe calling a little bit of play action. That's a good step. That's it. No more steps to take. The season's over. It's just.
But you want to know? You want to know my favorite statistic?
Oh, sure.
I found.
Hit it with me.
The Patriots they ranked 27th in passing touchdowns allowed.
Like that they allowed 27th, the 5th most, or the 27th.
The 5th most.
Oh, okay, they allowed. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, well, you want to hear this, Jordan? The only playoff team this year that they beat, because how many times have I talked about how they're fine beating bad teams? The only playoff team this year that they beat was the Dolphins with Skylar Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
And again?
And I can further substantiate that. 3 out of 8 victories that come against teams with a running record. 0 wins against teams with a win rate above 52%.
Because again, Jordan, you can make a fine living in the NFL just being good enough to clean up against bad teams. That sure can make you kind of play meaningful football in December. And it sure can maybe help you limp to the all-time win record, which again, 2 more 9-win seasons, Jordan, which by the way would be exceeding this year. If they really get it together next year and win 9 games twice in a row, he'll tie the record. Which I almost hope he ties it and then has to retire. Maybe that's what I'm rooting for at this point.
Maybe.
I'm rooting for next year to be like a 10-win year, and then the next year to be like a 7-win year, and then he gets the boot, and he's left exactly at 347. Maybe that's what I'm rooting for at this point. But yeah, no, it's not great. No, it's not. And in fairness, I don't really know how much better I'd feel if they'd come out of. I mean, I'd feel something if they'd come out and won this game. It would still be like almost asterisk because I'm like, well, the Bills just went through some unbelievable mental trauma. But fine, whatever. You need something to beat them. And instead you spotted them 14 points on special teams. When you're supposed to be like the special teams, the team. When you were allegedly like the first team to ever think that special teams were important. And now you have literally the worst special teams in the league, Jordan. Literally 32nd in defensive value over average.
That is bad.
It's a fine aggregate. And again, that's with Marcus Jones being a very good punter, being a very good kickoff returner. Just, yeah, no, not Not great. Also, you're currently in like a weird legal battle with your punter and one of your two good young corners, but that's whatever. I almost don't even want to talk about that.
Damn, what's going on with
Oh, you didn't know?
Jake
Oh,
Bailey?
they suspended. They changed Jake Bailey and Jack Jones's injury designations for like this past week from like injured reserve to like suspended because Jack Jones missed like some like rehab meetings, which frankly that's on him. That I'm not even gonna like blame the Patriots for. And Jake Bailey, I don't really know what he did. They just said that he had like a different opinion if he was ready to play or not, and so basically they both didn't get paid this week. Anyway, yeah, no, so that's good. So that's, nobody's getting along. Greg Bedard was reporting today that players are still mad about the way that are still mad from like the Bears game. and to quote Bedard, actually put this out from the Boston Sports Journal today. He said that Belichick's the fact that Belichick declined to endorse Mac Jones as a starting QB in 2023 won't play well in the locker room. The players understand that Jones and the offense are put in a terrible position by Belichick this season. Hopefully he takes more accountability for that in private because that's how you lose players, and many were disillusioned from the start about the change. Also, several players were not happy with how Belichick handled Jones with the Zappy situation, especially against the Bears. There are lingering feelings about that. So that's good. So I'll choose to believe him. So that's good. So, so that's fun. So they all hate each other. Oh, they can't play special teams. Did you know, Jordan, I just got a bunch of random numbers that I'm throwing in here.
Mm-hmm.
Since Jake Bailey went out, the Patriots managed 3 touchbacks on 41 kickoff attempts.
Yikes.
And I went back and watched both the kick returns, Jordan, and both of them were a little bit short of the end zone. So, not that Jake Bailey was all that good to begin with punting, but kickoffs, I guess, were fine. I guess I'll never take kickoff. It's fun because all these things that I spent my entire life taking for granted watching football, now I don't. I'm like, oh no, you can be bad at kickoffs. That's possible. Oh, that sucks if you're bad at kickoffs because then you just spot.
Makes sense because every kicker in the NFL they just kick it out the back of the end zone.
Not the Patriots. Not you. You got Mike Pilardi. Barely can make it. But maybe if you make him return it, he'll go longer. But nope, instead you're spotting the Bills. 14 points, which is the recipe for success for this Patriots team. I got to tell you, Jordan. It's spot the Bills 2 entire touchdowns on special teams. I just can't even be I come in and be mad at Mac Jones and Patricia Day. Because what am I supposed to say? They outscored them on offense, technically. Obviously it would be completely different if the Bills actually got the ball in those possessions. They probably would have scored in those possessions too, but it's not what happened. You scored 23 points on offense. That's nice. It's a good number for you, honestly, Jordan. 23, that's nothing to sneeze at. Against the Bills? Come on. It's just, again, Jordan, they did run a healthy amount of play action in this game. Mac was 9 for 9 on his play with 92 yards and a touchdown on play action plays, Jordan. You want to hear this quote from Evan Lazar about play action?
Hit me with it.
It's also inexplicable that the coaches shied away from dialing up play action from under center all season long, just for Mac to complete all 9 of his play action attempts for 92 yards and a touchdown in Week 18. This season, Jones ranks 30th among 32 qualified quarterbacks in play action rate, 16.7%, a 10% decrease from his rookie season.
Makes sense. And I also like to combine that the Patriots were the 9th worst team in rushing attempts at 425.
How is that possible? Is that true?
Yes.
How is that possible?
Yep.
What? Really?
Yep.
So how are they not doing play action, also not running the ball? Well, I guess they wouldn't be.
So they got 1,812 yards on 425 attempts with, you want to guess how many touchdowns?
Rushing touchdowns?
Yep.
On the season?
Yep.
7.
12.
That's pretty good. That's more than I thought. Okay. You know. How are you not, okay, so how are you not faking running and passing the ball and also not running the ball? They just everyone this so just ninth less than anybody, they're just coming up and be like, hey, we don't need to trick you guys into thinking we're doing anything else. We don't need any subterfuge. I didn't pronounce that word right. We don't need to do any trickery. We don't need to scheme anybody open. We just know that if we line up our guys against your guys and we just run our play, we're just gonna beat you. Is that what that says? That's what I thought?
Basically.
No trickery. No nothing. We're just going to line our guys up, and we know that they're going to beat your guys one-on-one. No problem. We got nothing but
And it's so bizarre because you look at the eye test. You look at Ramondre.
Yeah, how is that possible? What teams are number 1? Read me the rushing attempts per game. Like, who's like the top 10?
One second. Let me go back on.
Oh, you don't have your links open, Jordan. Come on, I already beat you to it.
I made a table.
Oh Jesus! I actually didn't beat you. I pulled up the wrong thing. Like how I don't know if I believe you. I gotta check that for myself. Oh my God, they are. How is that possible? So it goes. So it's. I'll just go down a certain number till I get bored. Falcons, Bears, Eagles, Commanders, Browns, Cowboys, Ravens, Giants, 49ers, Steelers, Titans. How are they so low on this list?
Jake is the most.
The funny thing is, though, that like everybody underneath them almost is a playoff team, which is actually kind of the funny thing. The only teams below them that aren't playoff teams are the Rams, Jets, and Texans. So make of that what you will. That's just the formula, Jordan. Just don't run the ball, I guess. Because actually every team underneath. How do they run the ball less than the Bills? Well, maybe that's counting Josh Allen. Josh Allen runs a lot. They only have 5 less running attempts than the Bills.
I like how the Chiefs only ran 417 times, but the Chiefs are like heads and shoulders just the best team in the NFL.
It's true, but yeah, that's just the formula, Jordan. Simply, great teams don't run the ball.
They also don't run the ball for that much,
unless you're the Eagles.
Score that much.
You also don't pass the ball, though, but you pass
also
the
don't
ball.
pass the ball.
Well, see, okay, I think I know how this happens, actually, Jordan. Actually, I know exactly how this happens. When you want to run the ball, but most of the time when you run the ball on first down, you pick up 2 yards and have to punt 2 plays later. They just don't have, like, the raw number of downs that they're... Actually, I'd like to see that. I maybe should look that up. Where do they rank in, like, plays ran offensively? Because that's probably why, because they were just punting the ball away so much. They didn't have the raw number of downs, you know. They weren't, like, going up and down the field, Jordan. I guess if like you have like a 3 and out, even if you run the ball all 3 downs, like you're just not gonna get that many running plays in. So that actually makes perfect sense. Wow.
Well, luckily for you, so the Patriots had 293 total first downs this year.
That's
I don't know where that puts them.
I'd say maybe 4th, 5th.
The 27th best, 5th worst.
Okay, well, you know. Yeah, I know. That one passes the eye test. That one's not taking me aback. Yeah. No, yeah. Good thing their defense scored like 8 touchdowns this year.
And also, what if I told you the Patriots were almost top 10 in giving up in yards via penalty?
Yeah, I believe that.
They were 11th.
I'm surprised it's not higher. I'm surprised Trent Brown alone wouldn't out penalize like 14 NFL franchises. Yeah, no, it's a lot of bad, huh?
Mm-hmm.
A lot, and you know, again, Jordan, I'll say it's an indictment on the rest of the NFL that this team nearly squeaked into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'll still say that, Jordan. That's, you know, when you want to pile on them, just remember the rest of the league is bad enough that this team almost squeaked in. This team had the path on it. This team was winner get in. This was the first team in line to get a playoff slot. Ah, man, that is.
And then and here's like my second favorite statistic.
Oh, sure, lay it on me.
32.8% of their drives ended in an offensive score.
Yeah, what does that rank?
5th worst.
Lucky 27. That's just their number, baby.
Yep.
That's just their number. Oh man, that's tough, huh? Yeah, so in summary, they can't play special teams. They can't really play offense, and all the players are still mad about the fact that Mac Jones didn't play the second half against the Bears.
Yep, and then they can kind of play defense.
And they can kind of play defense, you know.
Just don't throw the ball.
They can still play defense. Even they played fine, truly and genuinely. Like Jonathan Jones got burnt one time by Stephon Diggs, but like that's the worst of it. That's the worst of it. You know, John Brown burned him a little bit, but no, defense was fine. Still. Christian Barmore had a good game again. He had like 3 hurries and a QB hit in this game. He's kind of coming alive here. That's a good thing. They need D tackles. That's a nice thing. So yeah, no. So we're in the off season, baby. We are. Are you excited, Jordan?
I am very excited.
They currently have or will have about $37 million in cap space.
What pick do they have?
They have the 14th pick, which I know I said last week, I'm like, I'd rather make the playoffs than have the 14th overall pick. But now I'm like, okay, well, you can get like Quentin Johnson maybe. Like, Paris Campbell I'm seeing in some of these mock drafts going to 14th. I'm like, okay, I still think there's some fringe value to making the playoffs, even if it's just to go get blown out by the Bills again, because they'd be playing the Bills again. But how funny would that be, by the way, Jordan? They beat the Bills. It's easily like the greatest win of the Mac Jones era. And then exactly like 6 days later, it's like, okay, and you're going back to Buffalo again. Don't even bother leaving.
It's run it back.
You gotta line up against them again, baby. You probably, in the scenario where you won, you burnt all your best plays. They're projected to be 4th in cap space this offseason, which is nice, which is a good thing. But you'd imagine that, Jordan. They're just gearing up. They're just getting ready to go, and then it's just you gotta play them again. Now, maybe that would be more demoralizing, honestly. Imagine.
I feel real bad for the Dolphins, though.
I don't. They should be happy to be there. Why do they feel bad? They should be happy to be there. They finally broke through, Jordan. That's a good thing. Like that again. Like, if I was gonna say it's a good thing for the Patriots to do it, I'm definitely gonna say it's a good thing for the Dolphins who haven't made the playoffs. Like even like the last couple of years, like they've been pretty good for stretches. Like no. Like first year with your new coach, you make the playoffs. Like that's something. Like that. I believe in that.
Is Teddy back?
I don't know. I think it was Tua. I don't know. Like that. Like it's just about
Tua's done for the year.
I hope so.
They can't.
But yeah, no. So but for us here, all those nerds in Miami gotta project a game and talk about coverages. Not us, Jordan. It's off season time. So me and Jordan are really prepared today, like a real podcast we're doing. I asked Jordan to write his list of needs for the Patriots, and this could be anything, Jordan. Doesn't have to be just specific positions. Can be anything. And I have mine, and I think we go 1-1-1-1-1-1. What's your number one need for the Patriots this offseason?
My number one need for the Patriots this offseason, new offensive and maybe defensive coordinators.
So I wrote offensive coaching also. The defensive coaching is fine. I mean, Gerard Mayo's probably going to finally get plucked. And then it'll be Steve Belichick time maybe. But I also wrote off. I also have offensive coaching 1. Okay, so we agree on that because I think no matter what talent you bring in, if the offense can't do anything, not good. So please, go pluck, Market Basket brand Sean McVay guy, Cliff Kingsbury. He's free. He's available.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Bill O'Brien.
Matt Rule. Shit, bring him back.
Maybe not that, but I'm with you. We're talking. We're cooking. Okay, what's your number 2?
Number 2, I put offensive tackle / offensive line.
I also put tackle. The interior of the line was actually good. The interior of the line, like on the aggregate, was actually pretty. Cole Strange was actually pretty good these last couple of games. They only allowed like 2 hurries in the last 3-4 games. Strange was good. David Andrews is David Andrews. And again, Onwenu. Unbelievable numbers if you read Michael Onwenu's numbers. Unbelievable. Very good, but tackle. They got to fix the tackle thing so bad. Does not matter how good your guards and center are if you don't have tackles. Holy hell. And Trent, they got. Thank God Connor McDermott was like vaguely average, maybe. Because can you imagine? Oh my God. I mean, you can't imagine because it was terrible already. But yeah, no, which again, they're in a good spot in the draft to maybe get a tackle there. I think the beauty of the Patriots draft slot is that they have so many needs that so many picks will feel good. There are so many picks that'll feel like good ones. So it's fine. So tackle, what do you have number 3?
Number 3, I put improvement in offensive I don't know why I put it like that. Offensive weapons.
Receiver, I wrote exactly one receiver, please.
Yeah.
Please. Also, Jacoby Myers is a free agent, so maybe you lose him or pay him $12 million. I don't really like either of those, honestly. But which honestly could actually. When I say exactly one receiver, that's why I said before this offseason, but they could also very easily, because Aguilar's gone. Aguilar played 3 snaps in this game, and they can cut him and save all their money. If they cut Kendrick Bourne, they'd save about $5 million, which I say Kendrick Bourne is probably worth those $5 million. But they clearly don't think Kendrick Bourne is worth that $5 million, so he's probably gone. And Jacoby Myers could be gone if somebody decides to pony up and pay him. So, probably I'm almost underrating that need. In all fairness, because they could very easily be in a situation where they have like 4 new receivers next year, which is not necessarily a bad thing, Jordan. I gotta tell you, if it's Devontae Parker and maybe Tyquan Thornton and like 4 new guys next year, that's not inherently a bad thing. But go, please do something. I was wrong. I thought, maybe overinvesting at wide receiver like a lot of these teams is doing isn't the way forward. Maybe it'll turn out that's not correct. Nope, I was wrong. Nope. Go spend big. Go spend a bunch of money on a wide receiver. You need it. If you're not going to have the quarterback at a bare minimum, have the receivers. What do you have next?
New quarterback.
Okay. Interesting. Because I have quarterback like way lower on this list. Because that's not even close to one of my number 1 things. Okay. But you have quarterback that high?
Yeah.
Interesting. To what extent? Because I have like a level on, like, I'm sure we'll talk about this a billion times for like the rest. Like, get ready for like Patriots quarterback talk for like the next like 6 months. Everybody get excited. What's like your like real quick, like what's like your line with Mac Jones? Because I thought about last week. I'm not like paying like Jimmy G or like Derek Carr $20 million to come replace Mac Jones. Like, I'm not doing that. If Brady wants to come in tomorrow, I'm bringing in Brady. Then I'm in.
I'm paying $20 million for Jimmy G or Derek Carr to replace Mac Jones.
You see, I'm still not there.
His body language is terrible. Dude keeps trying to break people's ankles. No.
You're still not into like the just let him and Zappy come battle it out in camp.
No,
I guess
you got to try.
I guess it's just like spending around like that rookie contract is so enticing because that's what all these teams do in like the 3rd year is when a lot of these teams will load up because it's smart. And, the quarterback's so cheap that, again, it's like we're talking like you're paying Jimmy G or Derek Carr 10 times what you're paying Mac. And I don't think you're getting 10 times the results at a bare minimum, like with what they currently have in place offensively. And because, either it's Jimmy G, who you've seen play in apparently in an environment that's so good that Brock Purdy is now looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the league, or Derek Carr, who's been in bad situations a lot of his career and has really not accomplished any more than Mac Jones has, in all fairness. Like, he's maybe looked better, but like you could convince me that maybe Derek Carr could be like a Matt Stafford for like a really good team, right? You're not that. Like, you're not that. Like, you're still getting the same results if Derek Carr was on this team this year, And it's just I don't want to pay $20 million for that. But maybe we'll feel.
They got to try to do something different.
Maybe
my confidence in Mac Jones has been eviscerated.
I understand.
I don't care what dog shit game he played in week 16.
The last couple games are better. I'll be
18, 15.
His last 3.
It doesn't matter how good he was when they dropped 5 or 7. Jake, I'll put it.
I know. I get it.
It doesn't.
I get it. It's just there are so many other needs that I feel like are just like addressable in ways that actually like feel good. Like most of the Mac Jones solutions are just coping. Like they're all just like they're all just coping.
Draft Hendon Hooker, please.
They're fine. That's fine. That one I'm in with. But it's like all like the vet. Like you're just bringing in like another. You're just paying a cope vet a bunch of money to not make your team better instead of maybe just like spending money to get players who are actually good at their position to maybe elevate things.
It doesn't matter if you get players that are good at their position.
Maybe like at least then you're set up next year for the next guy.
Like you gotta get like someone who's at least as good as like Kirk Cousins or Dak if you want a chance.
Well, Jordan, there's like 12 quarterbacks who are as good as Kirk Cousins or Dak, and they're not going anywhere. And none of them are going if Kirk Cousins comes loose, so maybe we can talk about that. Kirk Cousins in a Patriots uniform would be a fascinating thing for me to see. Because I have either a number one corner or like just re-signing Jonathan Jones, depending on what the numbers look like. So I'm not gonna be like furious if they like if it was just like Jonathan Jones like a decent contract and then they just ran back this same cornerback group and maybe like fringe like depth stuff. I wouldn't be like furious about that because it worked, and I assume that. And I hate assuming I'm like, oh, you have this young player, they'll get better. If you have two young players at a position, I'm like, okay, well, one of them will probably get better, probably in year 2. But that, or again, like that could be a position they address with their first round pick. Which again, I'm not somebody who like puts because as somebody who is like probably one of the biggest mock drafts guy in the world, which by the way will probably do a mock draft spectacular this year, everybody.
Oh, baby.
I'm not somebody who like hinges like everything in the world on like the first round pick and pretends that that's like the entire offseason thing. I think it's a very annoying thing people do. But, hey, corner, that would be a bad spot to get. If they brought in like a guy who could maybe actually be like a number one corner at some point. But again, what they've been doing defensively has worked fine. Like I'm not, on the whole, I'm not, it's so, this is, we're 3 down on my list, and this is the first defensive one. We're 4 down on yours, and we still haven't gotten to a defensive thing. Like, I think that speaks to, like, the defense is probably, like, we don't feel horrible about it. And again, like...
It needs some improvement.
It could, but again, like, it's, like, this defense... If this defense was on, like, a team with, like, an actual offense, you'd be like, no, like, they're fine. You wouldn't even notice it. Frankly, I noticed it more because I'm like, wow.
If this defense was on a team with an actual offense, they'd be like 12-4.
Exactly. That's my point. I'm like, frankly, the defense comes out and I'm like, phase of the game that's actually kind of refreshing to watch.
Like they just be the Bengals.
Exactly. So like they're fine. Like that's again, like they have the caliber of defense that you're gonna need to win. It's just they don't have the offense, which is the more important thing. So what do you have next? What's your 5th thing?
So my 5th thing is actually improvements to the secondary.
Yeah.
I was thinking more.
Right.
I was going less towards corner, more towards safeties.
Well, I was gonna say my next thing is free safety because which frankly I should probably actually switch those two around because Devin McCourty is almost certainly retired. Like if he doesn't retire, then they don't need a free safety. But if he does retire, yeah, they got to figure that out. We've been talking about that for a couple of weeks. I feel like that could be the one that could be like the linchpin that just makes everything suddenly look way worse defensively next year because
They need some decent bodies.
Yeah, which like Jabril Peppers actually looked pretty good these last couple of games, but he's a free agent. I don't know if he'd be somebody who would come back. I don't really know if it's like the plan is for like Duggar to move in like the full-time free safety role, and then you figure out strong safety because I guess I feel like strong safety is like the easier one to figure out of the two. I feel like it's easier to find a good strong safety than a good free safety, but maybe that's like a pop button thing to say in the safety community. I don't know. But yeah, no, like however they figure that out, they gotta. Which, by the way, I have no doubt in my mind they're gonna address that. Jordan, you think if you tell Bill Belichick, hey buddy, you got to go find some safeties. Receiver, I'm worried he won't do it again. Tackle, I'm worried he won't try to do it. Quarterback, worried he won't try to address it. Offensive coaching, worried he will just try to roll with the same guys. You tell Belichick, hey baby, time to get going on safeties. Clock's gonna turn back 15 years. He'll pull out the tape. He'll go on a tape binge watching like Conference USA safety play. Oh, they will scour the ends of the earth to find a safety, Jordan. I have no doubt in my mind. They will go up and down to find if Devin McCourty retired, which it looks like that's what's going to happen, this need is getting addressed. This need is going sicko mode. So yeah.
They got the 4th round pick out of Memphis eating right now.
It just becomes like a pro, like a perennial all pro. Oh yeah, no,
this 5th round free safety out of UAB.
Yeah, just like 6-time all pro Patriots.
UL Monroe.
Not worried about this. I got to be honest.
Tulsa.
Not worried about them figuring out the safety thing. I got a lot of confidence they'll figure that out one way or the other. Not worried about it. They got to fix it. They got to figure it out. It's a big need, but I'm not worried about all these other needs. Very worried about. Very worried they won't address properly. But this one, they're gonna get safety right. What do you got next? Because now we're getting into like I didn't even really want to bother to list them.
So
I still haven't gotten to where
one,
quarterback is on my list, by the way, everybody, if we're keeping track.
Oh boy.
I know.
So for this one, I put so unlikable to be the face of the franchise. So one of my biggest problems with the Patriots, I don't give a shit about no one on this team.
Okay.
I don't really like anyone. I don't really know anything about anyone on this team. But you look at every other team in the division, you got Stephon Diggs, you got Sauce Gardner's, nothing but dogs in AFC.
Sauce Gardner was the number 1 corner in the league this year, by the way. If you read Sauce Gardner
great
numbers,
pick for the Jets. I told you that Jets draft class, fantastic.
He's literally the number 1, not the number 1 rookie, Jordan, in the league.
Corner.
His numbers are unbelievable.
But I told you the Jets draft was fantastic.
I'll be honest, Jordan, I don't even care about the likability thing, really, because the entire time this team was good, I don't think anybody outside of maybe people who followed this team who were still lying to themselves found Tom Brady likable or found Bill Belichick likable or found all
then. They had Gronk. Remember we used to walk into Dunkin' Donuts and used to see like the cardboard cutout of Gronk.
It's true. That is
look
true.
at this goofy bastard. I want that.
I don't care.
I want that sandwich with like the sausage on.
Okay,
all
right. The big cardboard cutout. Oh yeah, we had if they're good, you'll like them. Like if they're winning, you'll like them. I don't even care about This is a good take, Jordan.
There's no dogs on this team.
See, you can't be all weird and robotic and like ornery with the media and act like you have all these secrets to hide and then be bad. You can't do that, Jordan. You're not wrong. It makes it way easier to be like, oh my God, Belichick, will you just like answer a question like a person? Like, this is no longer part of like a process that's having you perennially win 12 games. Like again, when they're not likable, but you're like, but they keep winning, and that's more fun. Like watching your team win is more fun than watching your team be likable. Like, watching your team just be really, really good, infinitely more fun than, like, good sound bites, but...
I strongly disagree.
Well, is he getting no good sound?
I mean, you're talking to, like, the biggest closeted Lions fan. Just
well, you see, Joe, but they're getting the good sound bites. You see, they're really in the same exact spot as the Patriots, but... They got good sound bites. At least you got that.
I mean, I think they're slightly better because Bill Belichick's not trying to bite someone's knee.
That's my point. Off. Like you got the. It's fun. It's fun. I think they're having more fun there being Lions fans. This is just
yes, that's what matters.
No, I know. This is just miserable.
You agree with me. Like every Patriot game you watch this year has been dreadful.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if the game was good, we wouldn't care about it. You'd be like, well, we're getting one of the things. What I'm saying is like you watch the game and it's miserable to watch, and then you listen to the press conference and everybody sounds miserable, and you're like, this is not fun. And then Mac Jones has to go up there and he sounds like he has a gun to his back. He has to be like, yeah, Matt Patricia is actually one of the most brilliant football minds I've ever met in my life. Yup. Starts blinking.
Dogs. There's no dogs on this team.
Hey, baby, Matt Judon's a dog.
Kind of. I never heard him talk. Never heard a word from Matt Judon.
He wears a red sleeve.
He does wear red sleeves. Never heard a word from Josh Uche.
Juwan Bentley played like 99% of the snaps.
Yeah, never heard a word from him this season.
Jack Jones missed some rehab appointments.
There's no one with character on his team. They're just automatons.
Kendrick Bourne was pretty mad earlier in the season. Remember when he was complaining a bunch?
I do remember that.
It was. You're not wrong. That's a good one, Jordan.
They don't have some guy with a hot sauce chain.
That's a good one, Jordan. I don't mind that one. That's a good one.
They don't got a George Pickens.
Again, I'm fully. Hey, maybe George Pickens, who was picked like 3 picks after Tyquan Thornton.
What a great pick!
Still like Tyquan Thornton, by the way. I feel like a sensible offensive mind could use that speed for something, because that dude is very fast.
Very fast.
But they sure are not using that speed creatively in any way. But yeah, I like that. That's a good one, Jordan. That's a good one. Well, that's a real good one. If you're gonna suck, at least, like, again, if you want to be like the frickin' Navy in terms of like everybody being robotic and not saying anything, but you're good, I'm fine with it. I can come up with fun things to say, Jordan. That's what we do here.
But it's fun. It's fun to watch Navy because they run such an antiquated offense, and it's just funny.
Well, I don't mean like in terms. I just mean in terms of like a militaristic outfit. But if you're good, it's fine. If you're bad, it's like, okay, like the seams have come off here. The Emperor has no clothes, and now this is no fun. Now everybody's just
then Tom Brady has some dog in him.
Oh, he had some dog, plenty of dog in him. But okay, I had well, mine is way less fun than yours. Mine was special teams coaching.
Oh yeah.
You're over here talking about like the soul of the team, and I'm like, yeah, probably time for Cam McCord to go. Like that tweet I read you, by the way, I forgot to mention that the Patriots, also this guy also mentioned the Patriots had above average special team Dova every season from 96 through 2020. Last season of special teams, also terrible. We talked about it last year, wanting to get rid of Cam McCord, wanting to redo the special teams coaching staff. So now do it. Now definitely do it. Literally in week 18. Like, if anything, should have been like the impulse fire. Like, my lord. And you just have Joe Judge coach that. And then he's away from Mac Jones. Then maybe you can get him a real QB's coach who he actually wants to listen to. But, yeah, no, they can't be the literal worst team in teams. But they kept Cam McCord around, which I almost, like, somebody made this point. As much as, like, I pushed for, like, them to get rid of Cam McCord, like, last offseason, like, I can almost understand it. Because we talked a little bit the last couple of weeks about how much of the coaching staff got, like, gutted last year, like, almost specifically, exclusively by Josh McDaniels leaving. And I don't remember who made this point, but it's just, maybe they were like, well, we can't just have new coaches everywhere. So maybe we just stick with Cam McCord one more year. Bad call that was. But, like, understandable. Yeah, no, it's please. For the love of God, please. Please just get rid of Cam. And I don't know if that'll be the thing that fixes it, but probably get a new punter too. Jake Bailey wasn't that good, and you're paying him so much money. But yeah, they gotta whatever it takes to fix the special teams. Did you even make a next thing, Jordan?
I did.
Oh my God!
So I put improvement to the linebacking core and just the front seven in general. Just based off of what Roquan Smith had done for the Ravens.
By the way, they extended him, so franchise tag is freed up for Lamar.
They did do that.
Yeah, no, so that was my next thing, was like linebacker depth. Because like again, like the front seven was good for the most. Like Christian Barmore coming on has been good. Like Uche and Judon were both good. Jawan Bentley played like every snap for this team defensively and was like generally pretty good. But yeah, no, maybe we don't need to be putting out like Mac Wilson and like Tavai and like all these guys as much as they have been. Maybe now's the time to, because that was something they didn't really hit in the draft. Oh, and like Roquan McMillan, and yeah, like. That was something we talked about last year being a major need for them, and they didn't really address it in the draft, but like they did address a lot of other spots. And I still think they had a good draft this past year, which I guess is like one more like maybe saving grace. So like maybe like Belichick started the draft okay again. But yeah, maybe now's the time to start developing like some more outside linebackers. Like
definitely need your Sams and Wills up to speed
taken care of
today's NFL.
Yeah, and I still have that before quarterback, Jordan. I gotta be honest with you. Unless with the caveat, unless Tom Brady's like, I want to come back to England. And
maybe they get Lamar.
Smash. I mean, yeah, if you can make that work somehow, then fine. I mean, again, like if it's just bring in like a Cope vet, like I'm not into it. Like that, if it's Cope vet, which is a very specific caliber of quarterback that I won't go into the exact qualifications of because it's all just a inherent gut feeling thing. Like, if it's a Cope vet versus Mac and, like, Zappy, I'm just rolling with that. And that's where we're divorced right now. If it's, like, a real, like, somehow, like, you fall backwards into, like, Lamar Jackson wanting to come here, or, like, Brady coming back, or, like, God, who knows what else. I can't think of anything else.
Aaron Rodgers.
Fine, yeah. I'd think about it. Yeah, probably.
You'd hate it. That's your worst nightmare.
I'd hate it, but it's probably sensible. Like, depending on, like, what they want back from him. If they're like, well, Russell Wilson got this much back. And like, yeah, well, that was a bad idea. But, I mean, maybe. Like, it's all fair. But, yeah, I'm not paying, like a jaggy guy $20 million. I'm just not doing it. Because, again, I just fundamentally don't feel like the results this season would have been any different with Garoppolo or Derek Carr playing quarterback for this team. Like in a I don't think they'd be a playoff team with either of those guys.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Sorry.
No, I was saying my whole point is I'm just off of Mac Jones.
That's fair. Maybe you're just further away on Mac Jones than me. We can
ride with Zappy though.
We can ride with that. Fine. Zappy or Hendon or whatever. It's just I feel like you can make your team a lot better by changing all the variables around the quarterback than you could make your team better by paying $20 million for like somebody who gets outplayed by Brock Purdy.
How about Max Duggan?
You know what?
Duggan stock.
Yeah, it's not a good day for it. But fine, like unironically, yeah, like I think like they should draft a quarterback like that at some point. Like they should draft a quarterback in like the middle rounds. Like legitimately, if anything, they should do that. I know Max
Can
Duggan.
they just draft Georgia? Can they just
know,
replace their current roster with Georgia?
You know, Stetson Bennett is older than Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Dude's gonna have the most decorated trophy case at Hertz Rent-A-Car. Let me tell you. But yeah, no, I'm not. I don't know. That's why quarterback's nuts. And with the caveat, unless something that never happens to any team ever happened to the Patriots, and like they somehow like fall backwards into like an elite quarterback, then fine. Then by all means, please. But and maybe that's the wrong attitude. Like if they like wanted to draft somebody and just start that, if they want to start Zappy or something, fine. Like maybe that's me giving like maybe just sticking with Mac Jones is also a bad idea. But I'm not doing it for like Matt Ryan. Like I don't think that helps you. At that point, I'd rather just like use the cap.
Not Matt Ryan.
I'd rather just use the cap space that you have by nature of Mac Jones's contract to like improve the team. And I don't know. And then you can be like last year instead, where the offense also fell apart in the last part of the season, but you made the playoffs anyway. You know, it'd be much better.
No, Matt Ryan's done.
Yeah, you know, like it's just I'm not going the Cope vet route. Just to be like, ooh, maybe that $18 million we spent on Derek Carr could have been used for some tackles or some receivers or some corners or. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. So, you know, it's exciting. Looking to be an exciting offseason for the Patriots, Jordan, I think.
Oh, wait, you forgot I had one more.
Oh, you have one more? Oh, wow, you went far on this list. I stopped after, like, I was like, okay, now I'm writing down linebacker depth. I don't even feel that strongly about this one, but okay, what is it?
I put new coach, question mark.
I don't think they're doing it.
Question mark.
I think he's coming back. He said he already said he's coming back. I think again, we talked about this before the stream. I think for the most part, if dudes are getting fired, like they've already been fired. Just by the nature of like teams jump on starting to get guys in for interviews. Unless it's like Mike McCarthy specifically we talked about, like unless like maybe like the Cowboys like but that's because like something something changed for that team in the course of their season. I think for all the teams that are already out of it, like they've probably already made their decisions unless like Sean Payton specifically decides to come back like for the Saints. Then like maybe, but I guess they're sticking with Dennis Allen. But no, it's an exciting one for the Patriots, Jordan. Isn't it gonna be a fun one? Hopefully it's, you know, they got a bunch of money. Hopefully they actually spend it. Last offseason they didn't do a whole lot. Good draft though. Draft panned out okay. You know, in the full view, the 2022 Patriots draft class was pretty good. It'll if it's actually a really good draft class, will kind of hinge on if Tyquan Thornton turns into a real player. But you know, I'm giving him a pass. I'm giving Tyquan Thornton a nice C on the season. You know, he missed first chunk of it. Didn't have time to get up to speed. They didn't really know what to do with him. Fine. I don't have running back on there. Damian Harris is gone. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, like, you know, we'll see. Like again, the receiver group could look totally different for this team, like at the start of next season, like to like an incredible degree. But so that's fun. So now, Jordan, I think we should maybe talk about some of the boring, sleepy, uninteresting teams that are in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's hard to tear our eyes away from this New England Patriots team, but you know, I guess just generally, which playoff game are you the most excited for, Jordan? I think they're all pretty good. I think they're all winners. What a fun league this is at the Patriots. What a fun group of teams that the Patriots would only make worse.
So depending on whether or not Lamar Jackson is just if he's just literally holding out for the rest of the year,
I think he's playing.
If he's playing this weekend, then that Bengals Ravens game will be great.
I agree. That's a big one.
But I don't know if he's playing.
I think he is. I haven't seen anything to say he's not. I think that one. I'm excited for Chargers Jaguars myself. I think
that's also a good one.
I think that's a good like legacy starter for either of them. It's a good talking.
I think the Jaguars are going to smoke the Chargers.
Maybe that would be bad for the Chargers. That would look very bad for the Chargers.
Brandon Staley, he kind of needs to get fired.
I thought he would get fired if they didn't make the playoffs. I think maybe you think if they get smoked, he might be out.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost criminal, the mismanagement of
I think that
what they did on Sunday.
You see, I think that would. I didn't even see. What did they even do? Honestly, did the Chargers have another complete meltdown for no good reason? I didn't even see. I just heard nothing.
No, just all their good players got hurt.
Oh,
Bosa
did they?
got hurt, and
I didn't even see. Jordan, I completely missed that.
yeah,
They had another classic Brandon Staley mismanaging everything. Gay. Okay, so I think that would be the Sean Payton landing spot if I'm Sean Payton or Jim Harbaugh. That's the job I'm waiting for. Like that's the landing spot right there, Jordan. If you're like one of these like primo coaches who doesn't have to take a job, like if I'm Jim Harbaugh, that's the one I'm coming out for.
I also think I will be watching the Giants Vikings.
I will also be watching that game if I can help it. Yes.
The Vikings, their time is up.
Seahawks 49. Oh, that would be bad for maybe that would spring Kirk free.
The Vikings, their time is up. I've had enough of them.
Really? You're that out on them?
There's no you. I mean, yes, good teams win games and they win games badly, but you can't win. Was it 10, 11 one-score games
like that.
in a row?
Yeah, no,
you can't do that, man.
Hey, baby, they're clutch. They got that clutch Kirk gene.
And they barely beat the Giants last time.
They did barely, well, you know. That's a good one, though. These are all good. God, can you imagine if like one of these games just had the Patriots thrown in there instead?
It'd be, yeah.
Seahawks 49ers is a good one. That's a narrative. That's a narrative generator, Jordan. That game right there is going to be like a narrative, like, Petri dish. Just Brock Purdy narratives, Jimmy G narratives, Geno Smith narratives, Pete Carroll. Jordan, you ready to narrative farm off of that game?
Okay, I do think the Seahawks are going to get smoked. They're going to get the breaks.
Well, that's the thing, though. What if they do? What if they do?
But if they do win, Pete Carroll hit the greatest lick in human history.
Well, see, that was bad. Well, I'm saying, what if they win and like Brock Purdy throws for like 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, and then like Jimmy G's healthy next week?
If that's the case, then be ready for the QB controversy.
That's what I'm saying. It's a good one. Oh, Bills Dolphins is even like kind of interesting, depending on if the Dolphins have a quarterback. Go for the Dolphins.
Cowboys Bucks. Oh, that's on Monday night.
Cowboys Bucks. That is a good one too. That's appointment viewing. I'll watch every Brady playoff game until he retires. Don't you worry about that. Oh, can you imagine if Brady goes in there and downs the Cowboys? I mean, excuse me, the Cowboys have to come to him.
Mm-hmm.
They have to come. They have to show deference to the 8-9 Buccaneers.
They have to bow before the Lord of the playoffs.
Have to march in down there to Tampa. Come on, these are all good games. These are all good. These are all.
Are you ready for Dak Prescott to lose like his 13th playoff game?
Yes. You ready for Brady just to make another deal with Lucifer?
Yep.
Oh my Lord.
So I gave you my family. What else do you want?
Oh.
The house, the cars, the dogs, take it all.
Oh God, what a good slate of games this is.
Yeah, but I do hope Lamar's playing on us.
I really hope so too. That would be a shame
fantastic
to not get Lamar v. Burrow in the playoffs. Maybe for the last time at the NFC North battle before Lamar Jackson goes off to greener pastures.
Yeah.
But no, this is a good slate of playoffs. No, this is a really good playoff slate. You got anything else from Week 18? Oh, besides a shout out to Lovie Smith for, I have to imagine out of pure spite, just throwing the Texans' number 1 pick away. If you guys didn't see this, by the way, Lovie Smith, who was it a month ago, was saying he would never intentionally lose a game, and said they could fire him if they wanted him to. In their game against the Colts, he went for it for 2 to win the game on the last possible play.
32-31.
Which what?
32-31.
Yeah, which made the Texans lose the number 1 overall pick, which is frankly just such an admirable exercise in pettiness. I got to tell you, he threw their tank right under the bus, and now the Texans, who have had the number 1 overall pick locked up all season, have now lost it to the Bears. The Tank Master Bears. So
thoughts of Week 18. Cowboys, they're on watch because I don't like what Sam Howell and the Commanders did to them.
Cowboys
Sam
are on pack
Howell,
watch.
His first game ever in the NFL.
Took him long enough to get him in. Okay, Brown. Okay, they're on pack watch.
Yeah, oh, definitely on pack watch.
I'm glad that the Chiefs won, so we don't have to entertain so many bizarre neutral game AFC Championship game scenarios. I'm
Yeah.
very glad that the Chiefs won and made that work, because that discourse was already getting exhausting. So I'm glad that happened, and I hope they never move to neutral game conference title games, by the way, because that was the thing I started hearing people talk about, is maybe the NFL will want to try to like make both conference title games like pseudo Super Bowls at like a neutral site to, you know, extract more revenue.
I don't hate it.
I hate it. You're just making the regular season mean less, Jordan. You're giving teams less incentive to win games in the regular season.
I mean, home field advantage doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, it exists.
It doesn't exist.
Definitely exists, please.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Exists.
Vegas has determined it doesn't exist.
It exists, and either way,
I've seen so many home dogs this year. It doesn't exist anymore.
You get to you have to travel on a plane. You know, you get to be more relaxed. You get to have a better week, better quality of life.
They have good planes.
Yeah, we
they have planes so good. Russell Wilson can do high knees for 8 hours
we can't do
on the way to London. That's how good their planes are.
But yeah, you know, don't make it mean less, my lord. Also, they'd probably just put them all in domes, Jordan.
It will. Yeah, there's your version.
And if the Bills win the #1 seed, I want whatever other teams in the AFC have to march into like a frozen Buffalo. That's what I want. Then we're gonna lose.
Except if it snows like 8 feet of snow. In
exactly.
Like 2 hours.
Then they should still play.
Go to like Detroit or something.
Get the 8 feet. Get the drift bowl. Yeah. Don't want.
And also, Aaron Rodgers has been vanquished. Thank you, Dan Campbell.
It's true. Thank you, Dan Campbell. Yeah. Anti neutral site conference title games. Frankly, because I know it'll just.
I don't hate the idea.
I don't love it. It's like one of like the few things I like about the 12-team playoff in college football is that it might lead to like home playoff games. The fact that home playoff games haven't happened in college football is kind of an atrocity.
Well, that's just you know.
Yeah.
That's just you know, heretical to college football.
Yeah, I know. I want it. I like it. It'll be cooler. It would look cooler.
It wouldn't.
It would look cooler. I'd like it more. Bigger fan of getting the home. You don't want like the home college football?
I love like the Cincinnati and Louisville. They got to go slogging up the fucking Fenway.
Boo. Well, Fenway, that's
an abominable bowl game.
But I'm saying when they throw them in like the Mercedes-Benz Dome, and it's like, all these games, they all look the same. They're all in these big mega-sized stadiums that are all,
that's like
all the same and all boring. And no, play it like at Georgia. Like, have all the dogs come out, like, for real.
I mean, that is basically Georgia's home stadium. 70 miles away. It's an hour drive.
If people getting filtered out from the dorms to the stadium, it's not a home game, you know. Because people slog on down.
I mean, college is built off of neutral site games, so that's integral to the sport.
Well, also though, the home atmosphere is integral to the sport, Jordan. The ambiance of a college crowd. That's why you play
like 6 or 7 games at home.
Yeah.
And then you get your one road playoff game or 2 road playoff
play
games
home playoff games.
Playoffs.
Why not? If you're going to add 12 playoff games for no reason, because they're really important, Jordan. They very much need more teams in the college football playoffs. Let me tell you. Like how this year they were struggling. You know, they really had to really think about it to find what 3 teams they thought could maybe have a chance against Georgia. Turns out nobody does. So the solution is have more teams involved.
I like it, you know?
Yeah, so
I want to see like the 6th seed play like the 9th seed at like the Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, so when you get like that 9-6 upset, they could be like, wow, that's great. What a great feel-good story this was. Anyway, now you're going to guaranteed go get slaughtered by Georgia next week. But you know, you did have that win. You did have that big upset.
You know, Jake, at this point, maybe just throw it's a quantity thing. Maybe you put as many teams against Georgia and hope that maybe one of them gets lucky.
Which, by the way, Jordan, you fell for the cheese on that. Jordan, by the way, Jordan, who did you mention this on the show last week? Did you complain about the Georgia TCU line on the show last week?
I think I did in like the final minutes.
You did, and then you spent all week like on Instagram posting about like how it was bait and how it was so stupid. That what was it? It was Georgia plus 13.5, but the over/under was 62.5. And you're like, no way, this is so stupid. Why would they make this line? This is ridiculous. I'm like, well, Jordan, they could get.
I was like, there's no fucking way. The spread is 13.5.
Yeah, and you're like, well, there's
And
no
the
way that
over-under
it's a 2-score spread.
62.5.
And also
but
they
like,
expect a lot of points to get. So a team never wins by 2 scores in a game that's also really high scoring, Jordan. That doesn't happen ever in college football. Oh, look, Georgia dropped 65 points in the national. I'm so glad. I almost asked you if you wanted to meet somewhere and watch that game. I almost made you take a train to Providence to watch that game with me. Can you imagine? That would have been miserable. You would have been on the train back by halftime. Can you imagine if we had like gone somewhere and like ordered food and like spent money and like had to like leave our houses to watch this game just to be like at the end of the first quarter. They dropped 21 in the second quarter. Oh my God, that would have been something. Man,
it's despicable, man.
I am so.
They shouldn't. Georgia shouldn't be allowed to be that good.
No, I don't even know what the solution is, really, because like there have been a bunch of people have been like, well, like Alabama should have like just gotten in, because yeah, they're probably better than TCU. Like probably, yeah, like yeah, but like
they're God couldn't stop that Georgia team.
Yeah, probably not. Also, maybe Georgia is just that much better than everybody. They can't be that much better than everybody, though, right? Like, are they 65-piecing Michigan? Like, because in fairness, if you look at like the difference is like
they played last night, you put any college football team ever.
Which, by the way,
put the 2001 Miami Hurricanes over there, they would have get smoked.
Because, like, by the way, like the disparity isn't crazy. Like, it's not like this is like an unbelievable like can't figure out how to happen. Because when you look at it, like I was looking at a graphic earlier, Georgia has had like a top 3 recruiting class the last 4 years, and TCU has been hovering from like 25 to like 40. Like that's why. By the way, like that's why it happens. Like beyond anything else, beyond like the frick. Like that's why it had. Like you watch the game. I mean, Jordan. Like Georgia's O-line was simply like a different species than like anybody in the TCU front seven. Like it's laughable. Like it's like all the credit to TCU that they got there, and they deserve to get there. I get because they won their games, but
yeah, they had no business being there.
No, like it's like I mean that business. Like I'm not gonna go. Like again, I don't want to get into like because the Alabama thing. I'm like, well, shut up. Like then they shouldn't have lost to Tennessee and LSU, but they did. Like TCU like won all their games. I guess like they deserve to be there by nature of like if you want to have like a ranking system and actually like factors in what happens during the season. Otherwise, why even have a season? But man, it's like Georgia just gets the best recruits every year, and then because they keep winning, guess what you do when you're a recruit? You go there because you're gonna keep winning, and everybody gets drafted, and you get to be a national title game. So why wouldn't you go there? So it just builds on itself. It's perfect. It just is what it is. I guess like the transfer portal means maybe that like the 5 stars that go there and like can't break into the starting lineup might leave and go somewhere else. So that's fun. You can get like the afterwash from Georgia.
That's still probably better than most teams.
Very good plenty of very good players who don't get any playing time.
But even with the transfer portal, Deion's eating off the transfer portal right now.
No, he's trying his best.
He says it. He's not hard to find. Just go to Boulder.
But yeah, no, they are. They're very good. That Georgia, huh? They'll probably just gonna go back and do it again next year.
It's insane. It's despicable.
It's like, what do you like? Unless you like the only thing I've said this idea a million times. Like the only idea I've ever had, if you want to regulate this, which like maybe nobody does, like if you want to like create like more parity, like my one idea has always been like, well, maybe you create like, and this is my patented term for it, you create a star cap on like recruiting classes every year, and you can only bring in like X. Like you just add up the stars of everybody that you bring in, and then that's it. You can only bring out like 65 stars worth of recruits, which still wouldn't actually fix it because Georgia would just recruit all 5 stars anyway, and then every other team would just get less than them anyway, probably. But I don't know. That's like my one idea. And then how would you even regulate? Because there's like multiple different organizations that rank these players, and which one do you go by? And then there's like, is Georgia like paying off like max preps or something to like lower commit star ratings? Just sneak under, but that's like the one idea. Otherwise, you don't fix it because unless you want to like force players to like not go to certain schools, which I don't really want to restrict their freedom to go places. So I don't know. You probably just don't fix it. You probably just hope that like a little underdog like Alabama gets better again, and like that's probably all that'll happen. So that's fun. College football. At least they got more teams in the playoffs now.
And I'll give some context for the viewer. Jake asked me if I want to watch the game on Discord. I said nah. I'm gonna watch the game on mute and watch some other YouTube videos on the side.
It was a good decision by you, I got to tell you. I was glad we did it too. I didn't have the social battery for it last night.
Because after like halftime, I said, "What the hell is this, man?"
Yeah, no, it's like the sport that can't find 4 teams that are competitive enough for a playoff really needs to have a 12-team playoff. What a fun idea!
They got to do something.
I have to watch more bowl games. Yeah,
they got to do something new, Drake, man.
Well, what are they gonna do? It doesn't adding more teams doesn't fix any of these issues. It just makes some people more money. Like it doesn't actually fix this issue unless you think that like players are gonna actively like not go to Georgia because like, well, if I go to like the 10th ranked team, I can still maybe be in the playoff. Why is that gonna be factor into you? I can just go to Georgia. Like, why wouldn't you? If you're like the best like D lineman in the country, why wouldn't you? You have no reason not. You have no good reason not to, unless like your dad like despises Georgia with every fiber of his being. But you have no like professional, academic, or athletic reason not to just go to Georgia if you're like the best of the best. The only reason you have not to go is if you're not the best of the best and you think you might not play. That's the only reason you have not to go. At that point,
team gives you a lot of NIL money,
or they give you a bunch of money. Yeah, now they can do it. But then Georgia can do that more because they make more money because they keep winning the title games. They have more money to give you. And you're like, well, your brand deals are going to be better because you're going to be playing in a national title game every year. Like, that's a great point. Like, they just have some dude who's going to somehow be, like, better than Jalen Carter, just, like, waiting in the wings. Like, again, and if you're not that guy, they don't want you. And then you're probably still not going to TCU. Maybe I hope TCU has a good recruiting year. But
very good uniforms, TCU.
They have great uniforms. I agree with that wholeheartedly. But yeah, it's just not what you get. So that's
that was embarrassing. If I was a TCU player, I might just hang it up for good after that.
Yeah, it's just, and it's not even half of Georgia's team got.
I saw a tweet that said, "Oh, Georgia would have won the NFC South by 5 games this year."
Yeah, and like half of Georgia's lineup is going to get drafted, and then they'll somehow be better next year. It's like, we finally got rid of all that dead weight like Kelly Ringo. We got dudes who are better. Don't ask us how we do it. And that'll be that. So you got any other thoughts on anything this week, Jordan?
College football is ruined.
This is no different than the norm.
You want to talk about college basketball expanding to 96?
Nope.
Team
Don't have it in me. Carlos Correa may or may not be signing a contract. I don't know. I'll let you. Unless I see the contract.
I think he already signed it.
If I don't see it, I don't believe it.
I swear I saw it on ESPN earlier.
Once I see him in spring training, I'll believe it.
Okay.
But he might be. He might be gone. Maybe the Red Sox should have signed him for 6 years, $200 million. Who knows? They're probably still rolling pennies to pay for Rafael Devers.
That's true. I saw them at the Coinstar machine at Star Market.
Hey, baby, hope you don't get enough not a Canadian coins in there. But, all right, that's it. Have a good week, everybody. Follow me on Twitter at Jake R. Elmsley. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at true_world_king. We will be back next week. We'll talk about some football games that are probably actually fun and engaging. Probably didn't make us angry. What are we going to do next week, Joe? We don't have any... What I got to... Unless the Patriots say or do something stupid in the next week, we're not gonna be able to just come in here and just be like, "Oh, Matt Patricia was bad." What are we gonna do, Jordan? We got to find new material.
I got some new takes in the works.
Okay, all right. I told you, like, some of these games should be like narrative farms, but we'll find out. We'll sure let you guys know. I'm sure. Hopefully, out of 6 NFL playoff games, something conversation worthy happens. Fingers crossed. But all right, We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.